Yeah, I was under the weather last morning, so I was probably good enough to play, but they thought it was best to stay away from the rink, just to not get anybody else sick. So.
Okay, we're T-minus a week, I believe, until you guys start the playoffs. How are you starting to feel as a guy who's never experienced the playoffs?
Yeah, obviously not a lot of experience, but just really excited. I think our whole group got a lot of energy going into the playoffs here, so looking forward to it.
Who's given you the best piece of advice as you guys, because you're in them now? Like, has your dad given you advice? Have any players given you advice that you're going to hang on to?
Yeah, obviously, I think the whole group will lean towards the older guys, or at least guys with experience. I've talked to my dad a little bit, but I'll probably be leaning on him more as we go forward here.
Brady back on the ice today. Just what kind of motivation is that for you guys to see him back out there?
Yeah, it's nice. He's been dealing with a lot lately, so obviously it's nice to kind of get him out there. And for him, it's probably better skating with the team than alone. It sucks skating alone when you're hurt like that, but he's going to be a big part of this going forward here.
How does the environment change at practice with Brady back?
Obviously he's our captain, so whenever the captain's out, it's a little different, but yeah, just a little bit.
But does it feel like there's more intensity at practice? Does it feel different?
Yeah, today he was probably the hardest working guy out there. That's what he told me before the practice, so yeah, he's got a lot of energy, and we're looking forward to that going forward here.
He told you he was going to be the hardest working guy?
Yeah, he looked me in the eye and said he's going to be the hardest working guy today, and he probably was.
Do you think he's going to be the hardest working guy on your team for the playoffs?
I would put him up there, yeah.
Do you have a lot of Nelly on your playlist?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I missed his. We missed his energy for sure. He's. The captain of the team. He, plays hard for us, but it's just good to see him back. Getting into a full practice, and he looked really good out there.
Another day for you as well out there. Just getting these reps in. Just how important is that for you getting back into it?
Yeah, that's how you kind of get back into game shape is practice, and it was a good intense practice for our group, and especially coming off last night, I thought. Our game was a little bit loose, so it's nice to just get back into the important details that's going to help us win hockey games going into the playoffs. So it was a good work day.
How do you feel the day after?
Good, yeah, I feel good. Yeah, I think. We come back. Thought maybe a little bit rusty though, a little bit last night, but today I feel good. So which is definitely a positive step, and. I don't think it's going to, come back right away, but as long as we have these last two games here to kind of tune up for the playoffs and just try and, work and get better each and every day and hopefully be at my best come game one.
When you were in the middle of getting your face washed early on there, did that make you feel like you were back in?
That's when I'm back, right? I said this last night. I actually miss that kind of stuff and just being, in the middle of everything like I always am, but just that little stuff and, that's the stuff you miss the most is just being right in the battle and with the boys and on the bench even stuff like that and in the dressing room in between periods and then even in like today just practicing with the guys, being on a normal schedule and all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff you miss the most when you're hurt.
I know a little fair. Is this team ready for the playoffs as you see it?
Yeah, I think. I've been impressed with our group. Just from where we were at the start of the year to where we are now, we've matured. I think. We've taken a lot of strides throughout the year. I think we've gotten better as the year went on, and I truly believe that we are playing our best hockey through going into the playoffs, and that's a positive step for this group. I think. I also think we have to realize how good of a team we actually are. We got 4 lines, 60 that can, and 2 really good goalies, and obviously I'm biased, but I don't think we have any weaknesses. I really like our group.
You played I think just over 13 minutes last night. Throughout the game, were you saying, okay, yeah, give me more, as you started feeling better, or was that sort of the plan?
We had some guys that were sick yesterday or whatever. So, I think the first half of the game for myself personally was good, and then I think I could definitely feel it, getting a little bit fatigued as the game went on, and I think that's kind of, comes with missing 10 weeks. So I think just. My focus for next game is just to, finish all the way through for 60 minutes and have that energy that I had for the first half of the game last night. So, that's kind of where my focus is moving forward.
C'est sûr que oui, je pense que ça l'ajoute très encore plus d'envergure, mais je pense au bout de la ligne, c'est comme on dit, ça fait une couple de jours maintenant. C'est peu importe contre qui on va faire face, c'est une équipe que ça fait plusieurs années qu'ils sont dans les séries. C'est des équipes qui ont eu extrêmement de succès dans les dernières années. Fait qu'il faut juste être prêt, peu importe contre qui on va faire face.
Mon père est un ancien fan des Nordiques. Est-ce qu'il te rappelle comment c'est intense et est-ce qu'il te parle du potentiel peut-être de cette intensité-là contre les Maple Leafs?
Oui, un petit peu, je pense qu'on s'en parle. Mais je pense que les deux, on est plus juste excités qu'on ait finalement atteint le but qu'on voulait. On veut jouer en série, on voulait être là. Fait que je pense que les deux, on parle un peu de ça. Mais oui, c'est sûr que les dernières fois, pendant le voyage des pères puis tout ça, on en jase un petit peu, oui.
Au niveau de l'offensive provenant de la ligne bleue, il semble une tendance en ce moment à la hausse de votre part. C'est-tu juste un système ou peut-être des défenseurs qui prennent de plus en plus en confiance?
Je pense que c'est un peu tout. Je pense que c'est le groupe au complet. Comme j'ai dit hier après la game, c'est tout le monde au total, je pense, on garde un peu plus la possession de la rondelle, on crée plus offensivement. Puis, comme tu dis, je pense que ça inclut beaucoup les défenseurs dernièrement. Fait que je pense que c'est important quand tu arrives en série. C'est souvent des matchs serrés. Puis le plus que tu peux créer de l'extérieur, que tes joueurs numéro 1, tes lignes numéro 1, je pense que c'est ce qui donne beaucoup de succès. Mais je pense que si on regarde l'alignement au complet, je pense qu'on est capable de produire de pas mal toutes les lignes dans le dernier match. Fait que c'est quelque chose de positif pour rentrer en série.
Dernière pour toi, avec 2 matchs à faire, est-ce que c'est dur de se concentrer sur la tâche à faire pour finir la saison? Ou pour vous autres, vous êtes encore assez focus là-dessus?
On est encore assez focus, mais c'est sûr que veux pas, je pense en étant un être humain, je pense que ce qui s'en vient pas mal plus que les 2 derniers matchs de la saison, c'est sûr, mais je pense qu'on va juste essayer de continuer de jouer du hockey qui est solide. Évidemment que de continuer de bâtir pour quand les séries commencent, on n'a pas besoin de virer une switch ou rien. On est encore au même niveau, mais c'est sûr c'est pas la même intensité, c'est pas la même énergie même dans l'aréna, mais je pense que c'est à nous à l'interne d'essayer de jouer le mieux qu'on peut les 2 derniers matchs ici.
How familiar are you with the early 2000s series between the Leafs and Sens? It's one thing to see the clips on YouTube or sports that when they pop up, but like, how much do you even know or remember about the history of the early days of the Leafs that dropped in the playoffs?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. I grew up in Germany a lot until 2005, so I'm not sure exactly the years they played against each other, but you see clips of it online and stuff like that. So it's really exciting. Like I said, every time you play them, regular season or anything, it seems to be a really good game against them, and it's always really exciting going to play there and them coming here.
Did you even know that at one point Travis Green was on the other side of the
Yeah, I think it was that scrum right at the bench with Nealer and all them. So yeah, no, I've seen that clip multiple times. Yeah.
How do you get Tim Stützle to shoot more?
I don't know. I mean, he's almost at a point a game, so I think he's doing just fine, and I'm not going to give him any tips. He's a hell of a player.
In all seriousness, with Tim, like, what can you say about the strides he's taken as a player, not just generally, but I know he's tried to commit himself at being more of a 200-foot player?
Yeah, no, he's come a long way. I think along with a lot of other guys, we came in the league full years together. So and he's still really young, and he's getting better every day, every year. So really fun guy to watch. If you're a fan coming to the game, I think you notice him right away. Just how amazing of a skater he is, how explosive. He's got that second gear that most players don't, and along with an unbelievable skill set. So he's a great player, and like you said, he's come along 200 feet, and you can play him against any line.
And the fact that you mentioned on the subject of him playing against any line, how do you think he is against some of the other team's best players?
Yeah, no, I mean, for the last little bit, obviously Shane's line's been playing against them, but earlier on in years past, he's gone head-to-head with the league's best, and, he can skate with anyone out there, and he's a really competitive guy, so he wouldn't be that fun to play against because he has the puck a lot on his stick, and he can hunt you down at the same time.
One more from me, just how do you feel, like, Linus Ullmark, we know at the beginning of the year there were some ups and downs in his game. What's it been like seeing him kind of dig out of an early stretch where things didn't go so well to be an integral part to your squad?
Yeah, no, it's obviously a big change when you're in a place for a while. You move your whole family, kids to a new city. There's going to be some change, but No, he's been really good for the most part. There's been games where we had no business winning, and he stands on his head. Same with Forsey. So he's a hell of a goalie. Won a Vezina, obviously. So no, we're excited to have him here, and excited to see what he can do in the playoffs.
Thanks, Jersey.
Yeah.
Just one for me, Drake.
Yeah.
How different was the environment with Brady out there again today? For the first time since March 30th.
Yeah, it was great. It's been a while, obviously, but he was flying, lots of energy. So we know when he comes back, that's what he's going to bring, and it's always nice to see your captain, leader, and buddy out there for sure.
Does it matter to you guys if he comes back for one of these games in the regular season or the playoffs? Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Obviously, it'd be nice to have him out there every single night, but I know he's got to do what he's got to do to feel 100% for game one, and I know that's what he's focused on. So whether he comes back a game or two early or not, you're going to see Brady's best in game one regardless.
We saw Brady look like he was trying to get the heart rate up today at practice. Coach, is he getting closer and maybe a possibility for tomorrow?
I won't play tomorrow, but I thought he looked good in practice today. So, not surprising.
You expect to be ready for game one of the playoffs?
I do.
How important was it for him to get out with the team today?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, it's not a surprise to us. We figured he'd be out for practice today, so, and I thought he looked good.
What do you think the benefit is then? Maybe not the importance, but the benefit is to getting him with the team again.
Well, he has to. If you want to be on top of your game after you've been out, it's like he's no different than any other player. You've got to come back and get some practice time, and he skated on his own for a bit now, and it's good to get him with the group. I thought he looked sharp, and I'm sure he'll skate again tomorrow.
Do you think it'll be okay if he goes into playoffs without playing in any of these final 2 regular season games?
Yeah, I do.
How crucial has Linus Ullmark's success been to this team this season?
Yeah, it's been a big part of it. Obviously, when we traded for Linus, we knew we were getting a goalie that was capable of winning a lot of games, and he's given us a good year, especially when he's kind of found his game, got dialed in. I think both injuries derailed him a little bit, like it would. I can't speak for a goalie, but when you miss time, I would say more so with a goalie than a player. It probably takes you a little bit more time to get your game back. And he's a big part of our team, obviously. I think the goaltending position in general, I don't know if it's been more of an important position than it is now.
We didn't see Jake Sanderson at practice. How's he doing?
He's fine. Just give him a day off.
Giroux didn't get a ton of reps with the lines. Are you guys kind of just giving some guys rest? Is this that time?
You guys are watching, huh?
Try sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit of load management, if we want to call it. And Claude's had a lot of games under his belt. We wanted to make sure Brady took every rep today, and we'll manage our lineup going forward a little bit like we did yesterday.
How much do you take in these last 2-3 games, I guess, just for guys that are on the bubble, like Crookshank and Gilbert and others?
Yeah, I thought our fourth line last night was really good. But we're always evaluating. At some point, we're going to have to make a final decision on a lineup for game one, but there's also going to be reasons that you might change your lineup. Could be injuries. And when you play pro sport, you're constantly being evaluated, but especially for guys that are maybe a little bit on the bubble.
What are you sensing from some of those guys on the bubble right now?
As far as
Desire, are they pushing a bit more?
yeah, they're hungry. They're hungry. You wouldn't be here if you're not. We wouldn't call you up if you're not a competitive player that wants to play. And but yeah, they're all hungry to play, and the intensity level of the games. I thought last night varied. But yet guys that are competing and know that they're maybe in or out, they're trying to bring it all the time, and that's what we want out of the last 2 games.
Go ahead. How do you think Thomas Chabot's game translates to kind of a playoff style environment?
Fine. Yeah. What do you mean?
I guess just like he hasn't been in the playoffs for a long time, and this would be his first kind of taste of it. Like, how important will that be? Just what do you think that will mean?
Well, I think you say that about a lot of guys that haven't been in the playoffs for a lot of our players, and I guess you don't know until you play in them. But I think his game, he's shown this year that he can defend, he can play hard in his own zone. I think his game's going to be fine in the playoffs. I think Shabby's a great player, and great players in the league. When it comes to playoff times, their games get better, and obviously playoffs are going to be new, but I think his game will get better in the playoffs.
Steos went out and got guys like Cousins, Amadio, Perron for this exact reason. How much do you maybe give them a bit more space to talk and lead in these moments because of the importance of the value they bring?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we sit in the room and tell guys who can lead or who. They're on their own when we're not in the room. I think leadership just comes naturally, and I think every player will lead a little bit different. David's a louder guy than Mods, and but Amo also in the big games we've seen him play really well and be strong and understand certain parts of the game. And your leadership can come in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to come by words all the time either, and that sorts itself out in the locker room. Coaches aren't the ones that are instructing players what to say, when to say it. I think good leaders figure that out on their own.
Just kind of follow up on that. How much has the presence of those guys taken maybe a little bit of the, I don't know if heat's the right word, off Claude Giroux, but Giroux, I would say for 2 years, probably heaped a lot of that on himself. How much is that?
I think it helps you in trying times. It helps you when maybe shit's hitting the fan or things aren't going the way you want. And having players that have been through it, done that, they don't have a lot of panic within the room. They don't have panic on the ice, and it just kind of happens naturally when you have guys that have been through different experiences. And there's been a lot of talk about that, about our group this year, dating back to November, and I think having guys that have been through stuff and had success, they understand that because you've lost 3 or 4 in a row, A, you have to bring it, and B, you just don't start doing things that you're not capable of doing either, and making it worse.
What's a specific part of Timmy's defensive game that you asked him to maybe work on when you first met him that you've seen genuine improvement to now?
Yeah, I don't know if you can just pinpoint one thing. Obviously as a centerman, there are certain moments in the game that you have to really commit and be strong and win a puck battle, get inside position, sprint to get, there's lots of little details that go into that position itself, and he's still learning to play that position in that manner, but he's come a long way. And it's not, like I said last night, it's not like Timmy's a finished product. I think there's lots left in his game offensively. There's more defensive details that he's still going to grasp, but also the mindset. And yet we still don't want to harness him where he's not taking calculated chances to score and create as well. And one thing I've told Timmy is I'm never going to take the puck out of your hands, but there are going to be certain non-negotiables within our team that go into winning hockey.
In a playoff series, how comfortable do you feel putting him up against the other team's best players?
He's done it all year, so he's going to do it in the playoffs. And we obviously have different matchups at home, and we try to get advantages, and also, whether it's on the defensive side or offensive side. But if you want to win in the NHL, you got to play against the best players, and he does it a lot, and it's not going to be new for him. So we have a lot of confidence in him, and we'll have a lot of confidence heading into the playoffs.
What flexibility does that give you as a coach, just when you have Timmy and that line playing, really well defensively, and you have the Pinto line as well?
Well, I think you probably don't make the, teams that make the playoffs, they don't have lines that they're hiding a lot, and I think that's been an advantage that we've we've had our centermen that we feel comfortable, and it's a big part of winning in the NHL. Is as a coach, you know when you have the advantage or if you have a big disadvantage, and you know it fast during the course of a game, especially on the road. And it's nice that we don't feel that very often.
Can I just clarify something? The gray jersey that Kachuk was wearing, is that a non-contact jersey?
Yeah.